Many Ugandans have come out asking government to release their people who have been abducted by security agencies during and after elections. This, however, forced Parliament to issue out an ultimatum to the Security Minister, General Jeje Odong, to produce the list of all people who have been arrested, which is yet to be issued out. According to the National Unity Platform lawyer and also a human rights practitioner, Anthony Wameri, this is a total abuse of human rights that has increased and being done by the government security agencies in the presence of the freedom fighter, President Yoweri Habula Museveni.
Issue about human rights is one violation is inspiration for a subsequent violation. That if I detain you for 50 hours today, next time detaining you for 48, for 52 or 53 or 50, it will be very normal. We detained the other person here for 50 hours. How about you? Other ones are here for 3 days. Because everyone there is a violation. People also give up. No, people are kidnapped and no one bothers because you try, nothing happens. You ask the minister, nothing. And then the president comes and says, we have them. You see, if a president knows that you have people in the wrong way, because you cannot say that if I have committed an offense, a van, numberless, with people in plain clothes have to pick me, take me to a place that is unknown. Then if people raise issues like they raised that Mubiru has died, we have filed for habeas corpus, then he appears. That's what Idi Amin used to do. Actually, these guys are doing worse because they're doing it in English. Amin did it in vernacular, but these guys are doing it in English. They're doing it in legalese. With an attorney general sitting and independent, or rather working comfortably, with the Human Rights Commission, which has no commission, I think now substantive, with the IGG, with those institutions. I think the condition for human rights in Uganda is pathetic, and I pity the people who are in the system now because they're building a very bad foundation for them.
Wameri said the NRM government under President Museveni has abused human rights terribly, more than Amin's regime. He said this character symbolizes and builds the bad foundation of bad democracy in the country Uganda, which affects the country's future.
The fear for lives. Actually, there are many people who never walk in Maikan, travel in Maikan now. There are places where Ugandan people are uncomfortable me being there. There are people who are uncomfortable me being there, their friends. There are people who don't want to call my line. They don't want me to call them. When they call me, they just want to say, hey, can we meet ABCD? Because they believe my phone is tapped. They believe anytime I'm a target. And why? Because I'm trying to serve a nation. So it is a big challenge. People expect a lot from you. They think a lawyer performs magic, but a lawyer doesn't perform magic when they don't have the resources, when they don't have the protection, when they don't have the support that we are talking about. And many people are not so passionate about human rights. They will come in when the issue pays off, either by form of popularity or something like that.
However, Mr. Wameri expressed the challenges he's facing as a lawyer who is fighting for human rights, where people fear to call his phone for help due to fear of being trapped by security agencies, and some of his fellow lawyers neglect human rights cases. Katende Chabasinga, reporting for TV Africa. Ms. Kadaga was responding to the MP who voted to defy any decision by the Central Executive Committee (SEC) of the ruling National Resistance Movement (NRM) party and the Parliamentary Caucus retreat as National Leadership Institute Kyankwanzi next month. She said the Busoga MPs want her be in decision-making position. Yiganga Municipality MP Peter Mugema, Alice Panado, told Speaker not to betray Busoga by settling for position of Vice President. Meanwhile, Ms. Kadaga also scoffed at those who are rooting for Mr. Oulanyah to become Speaker on account that, as the regional Vice Chairperson of NRM, he mobilized Northern Uganda to vote for President Museveni. Mr. Asman Basalirwa MP for Bugiri Municipality said the challenge they are getting in campaigning for Ms. Kadaga is that she's accused of conniving with the president to invite army who beat up MPs during the Age Limit Bill debate. However, the speaker yesterday insisted that she never took part in inviting the army during the debate, citing the October 23, 2017 letter she wrote to the president demanding answers on the matter. Katende Chabasinga, reporting for TV Africa.
A fierce thunderstorm has been sighted on Lake Victoria by weather experts, pointing to possible dangers for travelers on the lake. Currently, the region is experiencing heavy downpour, which is expected to last several hours before clearing. A weather update by the authority states showing current radar images shows a line of thunderstorm over the lake Masaka all the way to Sembabule. People are advised to postpone all trips to the lake, especially to Kalangala, Sese, Bukakata and Kasensero Islands. Dr. Festus Luboyera, the Executive Director of Uganda National Meteorological Authority at the time, said the onset of seasonal rains is anticipated to be characterized by severe isolated lightning, thunder and hailstorms. Dr. Luboyera said that the major physical conditions that are likely to influence the rainfall outlook for the 3 months over Uganda include the current and evolving sea surface temperature anomalies over global oceans, the increased possibilities for neutral El Nino, Southern Oscillation and Indian Oscillation Dipole, intraseasonal variations such as the influence of a weaker shift to active Madden-Julian oscillations influence the regional saturation patterns, topographical features and large inland water bodies. The authority has also warned Ugandans against taking shelters under trees and open grounds as they are possible targets for lightning strikes during the heavy downpours. In February last year, 4 mountain gorillas, including a pregnant female, died at Mugahinga National Park in Uganda after being hit by lightning. TV Africa News, Kachanchu Mtabazi reporting. The leisure sport was introduced by water tourism enthusiast Adam Bafirawala, who is also the founder of the activities of tubing the Nile. The tubes used are locally available from old vehicle tires and for a single trip, one parts with $25. The tubes are fastened together to make up a team of 10 and the kayaker rows as the lead. They are given safety precautions before setting off. Francis Kimani, another participant in the activities of tubing the Nile, shares what he finds appealing about the hobby. The sporting hobby is an income generator for Adam and a boost for a country that continues to discover its tourism potential. TV Africa News, Kachanchu Mtabazi reporting.
The report, based on research led by historian Vincent Duclat, concludes that there had been a failure on the part of France under former leader Francois Mitterrand. Jean Dushimimana, a visitor at the museum, said that there was nothing that the French can do to pay back for what they did in the genocide, but rather they can do something for the victims and the survivors who are still suffering from the effects of the genocide to help them improve their lives. Paul Habumgisha, another visitor at the museum, said that they were afraid to go to France to follow all activities from France because they ignored what they did to participate in the genocide. Although the report states that France bears overwhelming responsibilities for the genocide, it claims that there was no evidence Paris was complicit in the slaughter of around 800,000 people, mainly from the Tutsi minority.
The Prime Minister of Gabon, Rose Christian Osuko Raponda, said this on Friday while meeting journalists. She said that one of the texts introduces divorce by mutual consent, adding that adultery committed by the man or the woman will be a reason for separation for both spouses, whereas until now it could only be invoked by the man before the judge. Rose Christian said that today a Gabonese woman is also obliged by law to obey her husband, adding that the planned changes will put an end to that vice. 3 bills were adopted on Tuesday by the Council of Ministers, one on the elimination of violence against women, the other 2 aiming to amend the Criminal Code and the Civil Code, which still enshrines the preeminence of the man in the couple by making the husband the sole head of the family.
Speaking during the launch, Peter Ndegwa, the executive officer of Safaricom, said that during COVID-19, they saw a lot of customers wanting to work from home as well as kids learning from home, hence enabling a working from anywhere in any space drive. Of over 50 million mobile network subscriptions in Kenya, there are just over 10 million smartphone connections, according to Newzoo's 2019 Global Mobile Market Report. Although a 5G rollout by Safaricom is a major step towards the development of the continent's network, its Kenyan customers should also be willing to pay more for internet data and connectivity. TV Africa News, Kachanchu Mtabazi reporting.
Achi's appointment was announced in a statement read by President Alassane Ouattara's Chief of Staff, Fidel Sarasoro, at a media briefing on Friday. Achi, a 65-year-old technocrat, served as Secretary General in the presidency for the past 4 years. He is an elected official, having recently won a seat in parliament for his native Adzope in the country's southeast. Achi takes over from Hamed Bakayoko, who died of cancer in Germany on March 10th. Bakayoko had succeeded Amadou Gon Coulibaly, who died in July after returning from a trip to Paris for treatment of a heart condition. The Ever Given, owned by Japanese firm Shui Kisen Keke, got wedged Tuesday in a single-lane stretch of the canal about 60 kilometers north of the southern entrance near the city of Suzu. At a news conference on Friday night at company headquarters in Imabari, Western Japan, Shui Kisen President Yukito Higaki said 10 tugboats were deployed and workers were dredging the banks and seafloor near the vessel's bow to try to get it afloat again as the high tide starts to go out. A team from Boskalis, a Dutch firm specializing in salvaging, was working with the Canal Authority using tugboats and a specialized suction dredger at the port side of the cargo's ship's bow. Egyptian authorities have prohibited media access to the site. An initial investigation showed the vessel ran aground due to strong winds and ruled out mechanical or engine failure.
Kenyatta said in a nationally televised address, the rate of infection in Kenya has gone up 10 times between January and March of 2021. The new restrictions have been imposed in the country's capital, Nairobi, and the 3 urban counties surrounding it, plus Nakuru, a major transit city. The country, with a population of 53 million people, has a cumulative total of 126,170 confirmed cases of COVID-19, including more than 2,000 deaths. In the 5 affected counties, Kenyatta has ordered a curfew to start 2 hours earlier from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. Kenyatta has also banned all public gatherings and in-person meetings of whatever nature in the counties.
Uganda Cranes coach Abdallah Mubiru spoke in the aftermath of Uganda's goalless home draw with the West Africans, Burkina Faso, and acknowledged the fact that they knew their qualification would be sealed away in Malawi. Mubiru also hinted on planning afresh for the final game in this qualification campaign by going back to the drawing board to plan for the game away against Malawi. The team of 23 players who are already in Malawi conducted the first and only training session at Kamuzu Stadium in Brataya on Sunday morning. The match in Malawi will be officiated by FIFA referees from Mozambique. Katende Chabasinga reporting for TV Africa.
This is Africa, and that was the news.